Okay, this is Kal Kat the Kal Katster. This is Kal Kat the Kal Katster. This is Kal Kat the Kal Katster. This is a. Now I sound like the lady in the movie. This is Kal Kat the Kal Katster, and this is a review of Toy Story 5, which I saw the special preview. I saw the Toy Story 5. I've been told by other people that we're doing a youth camp thing this year. Told by some of the youth camp famous characters that they do not discuss Toy Story 4. But anyway, but I kind of liked parts of Toy Story 4. I thought it was, it was kind of a creepy sort of version of it, a little different. It had kind of a similar ending to two other movies in a carnival at the end, including Shazam and that other one. The other very forgettable movie as well. The first Shazam movie. Anyway, and that other one, the other action movie. Yeah, so here we have Toy Story 5, which has kind of the problem that The Good Dinosaur did, and also Ilio did as well. Not so much Elemental. Apparently, that one they actually did. That one had a similar problem too. Yeah, they all were one person's version of the idea, changed a little bit by the studio. You can tell that there were several ideas in here, and then it started out with no special preview, no other little short. They kind of put the short in the movie, and it was the Buzz Lightyears. The later model Buzz Lightyears are put on an island, sort of spoofing the idea that the Lightyear movie was terrible. But they did it. What do you think? They do not discuss that either. It's supposed to be a couple of years after at least 3 years after the last one. So Bonnie is now 8. Her friends are 8 or 9 in the story. Since the beginning, Pixar has been literally tech. So the idea that they're after tech is kind of weird. It literally is a computer-generated cartoon where you're watching it on TV. You're not playing with toys. You're watching it on TV. Yeah. But yes. That premise there is a little wonky. Yeah. I'm not saying it was bad. There were parts of it that were weepy and cool. But yes, there were some good moments. Actually, it harkened back to the second one, more so than the first one. There was other. It wasn't the darker sequel. The darker sequel was part 4. But yes, so we have, which was not necessary really. They should have ended it with 3. They really should have. But they decided to get more money. So this one's about more money. And Jessie and stuff. The Cowgirl Jessie movie, basically. As Stone Gremlins did in their review, which I watched yesterday, they said, why didn't they just make it a Cowgirl Jessie spin-off? Just have them in it. Probably would have made more, and that's probably what it started out as. They wanted to do the origin story of Cowgirl Jessie and completely, if they could, debunk the Pixar theory about her. I just assumed from the OG movies, from part 2, when they said this is what Cowgirl Jessie was, that the mother from the first Andy's mom was just simply Jessica's, just Andy's mom. And that's where all the Woody and the other ones came from, the mom and the dad. I just assumed that, but no, that's not the case. But yes, And I'm not going to go into the mystery of Andy and Andy's father because other people have done that. Yeah, so I'm not going to go into that. No Pixar theory in this one because they turn it on its head in the movie. I'm not going to give it all away, but they do go to the place where Cowgirl Jessie, the doll, was originally, and stuff happens there that they find out. Things have changed basically, and time has moved on. And that's kind of the theme. Time moving on is out there. There's a new family living in the house, and their quirky daughter, who is 9, is she has a pet pig, and she likes doing pretend play animals and stuff. The at one point they're trying to get her to meet Bonnie later on. But yeah, there's a it's odd. They do get an actual kid to play the girl in the story. The girls are played by actual children. Yeah, so they don't have a lot of dialogue because you put kids in a movie. You have less dialogue. So they don't have a lot of dialogue, but they have some. And as voice actors, you see. So we have there are some weird oddities about it. I have notes here. So yeah, this is scripted. Now, I'm just not reading the script. The one thing, some things that are odd about it is that, as a Sunday school person and shepherd and all that stuff, the idea that the device in the movie, the chat device, the frog wing thing, that's like good or bad or something, is sending out text messages to hook up the different like that's just. And I know that it's just kids, but that's weird. The device should not be able to do that. It's going to go on Grok and do something bad, or locate these people. And what happens if there's a mean person on there, weirdo, goes on that chat thing and just like messes around. That's just it's icky. I'll probably say icky. No, you zero in on where these people are in their different houses and stuff. And have them set up with the other friend. It's like a setup. That's not going to work. It would work if it was later on and it was Facebook and they were like in their 20s. It might work vaguely if it was early MySpace and they were late teens. But no, they're not. They're elementary age. It's just weird. That's what's weird about it, not the other stuff. But yes, yeah. I mean, 8 years old. No, I don't know what they're doing. And nothing bad happens, fortunately. But the idea that because it's a cartoon for kids, but the idea that the sort of an iPad thing, iPad, that it can track you and send out messages to random people to get to know you is potentially creepy. That was actually generally more creepy than the fourth one, in that evil character in that one. And then her redemption at the end is weird. That guy, Buzz, and the other one lower batteries down or something. I don't know, with the battery thing. There's also these other new characters they introduced that are like these other like earlier tech things that are like a potty training device. Just strange, and a little camera, like an Insta camera device, and something else. They use that, and that could be potentially creepy. It's not, but it could be. So yeah, but yeah, and they can take like zoom in perfect pictures of things. No, they couldn't. Not if that was old stuff from 20 years ago. It wouldn't be that good. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna find the logic flaws in a movie where Buzz Lightyear's turn into drones and fly around and land all over a park at the end. Yeah, there's no putting any kind of reason or logic into a cartoon about that. But yeah, I just found that one part kind of creepy. But yeah, and the whole setup from the third movie, they just ignore it. The part where they're all like, Woody got the bad guy took away Woody's voice box so he couldn't put her in herself. They just ignore that. Pretend it didn't happen. Woody just like calls them, he can talk again, and he just talks, and they go and meet with him. So he's fine. And they still have the skunk car. They still have Duke Kaboom in there. And yeah, but from the last one, and the other ones are kind of second fiddle to these newer ones that are like about mainly that potty training device. That's all kinds of lines. Some famous comedian. Don't correct in the comments. It's fine. I don't care. But yeah, it works on some levels. It doesn't work on other levels. it's the whole premise is weird because clearly they had 2 or 3 ideas and they used all of them instead of blended them. Kind of instead of trying to figure out, okay, does this really make sense with a going with a chat friends thing? Of course, that's going to go badly. They're 8, and yeah, let's have them have a stay over. That's going to go badly, very badly. I just knew that was going to go badly. The plot is really thin. That's not going to work. No. Yeah, and although the emotional resonance of the other stuff was good, the tie-in to the I'm not going to give away the tie-in to the other house and all that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to ruin it. Now there are parts that are good that work. No. They're actually referred to as rag dolls, which is interesting. Yeah, and also it appears that the Cowgirl Jesse house and the Bonnie house are actually about maybe 15 miles from each other. The Pixar theory. Okay. But no, they're not related to Andy. And so yeah. I could go into the Andy's father theory. I'm not going to though. I'm not going to. Except that most of those guys out there are wrong. And I'm not going to go into that. Because he wasn't in it. That's why I'm not going to go into it. I could do a whole lot of diatribe about the Pixar theory, and I'm actually going to abstain from doing that. And just say, well, did I miss anything here? Yes, the mother's name, Ellie, or Elia. That may be wrong, actually. I don't know if there was an after credit sequence. I left during the credits. Anyway, so the truth the non-answer about something is it Kal Kat? It wasn't though. I don't know what when I wrote these notes, I'm like, oh, I'm going to compare this to something. Not really. I didn't. No, I can't say I can compare it to that. The something that I did is similar to. No, it isn't. What's I writing? I don't even know what I was writing. Okay. So we're just gonna Toy Story 5. It's not as good as the other one. It's not as off as the third one. It didn't need to go to a new kid and new characters. The idea is works, but the execution is a little off. So, yeah, I mean, and the weird notion that the fork and now the knife are she can create different things that are really inanimate and not technically toys. Does that make them? And can the animals communicate with the toys? Apparently they can. Apparently there's a horse that communicates with Jessie. Animals can communicate with them. But yes. Oh, there is something in the comments here. It says that Joan Cusack and Tom Hanks and Tim Allen, now being 32 years later from the original 90s one, sound really, really old. And they comment on that in the bald spot. The light comes off it, and they all do that joke, But that could be a Kal Kat moment. But no, it's not. It's not. And so yeah, we've let's see, it's not coming back. Yeah, so yes, yeah, so they sound old because they're old. They were in their 40s, I think, somewhere around that in the original, in the late 40s. Now they're in the 70s. So yeah, they do sound a bit old. But yeah, so there we go. Late 60s, early 70s. Don't correct in the comments. It doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah. Toy Story 5.